Hello, I'm here to break down the Hudson's Winter Warrior movie for you. If you recall, my last explanation was on the movie Snow White, which is closely related to this one. The movie opens with a young Queen Ravenna, who even at this early stage is involved in violent struggles, slaying various kings, her kingdom under constant threat. Accompanying her is her younger sister, Freya, who, like Ravenna, possesses significant magical abilities. However, Freya's powers have not yet come to the surface. During this time, Freya falls in love with a young man named Andrew and becomes pregnant. Queen Ravenna, however, forewarns her, suggesting that Andrew might not accept her and their child. Undeterred, Freya dismisses these warnings as lies, eventually giving birth to a daughter. One night, Freya seeks out Andrew in their garden. In a tragic turn of events, Andrew returns to his castle and sets a fire that claims the life of their daughter and engulfs their room. Overwhelmed with grief and anger, Freya's dormant powers are ignited. She seeks revenge on Andrew, freezing him to death with her newly discovered control over ice. Following this tragic episode, Freya, broken-hearted and emotionally shaken, departs from Ravenna's kingdom. She moves north, where she establishes her own dominion. However, her icy persona instills fear among her subjects, leading to her being dubbed as the Ice Queen. Freya's reign was marked by violence and terror. She would decimate neighboring villages, sparing only the children whom she trained in her castle for her army. Her ultimate goal was global domination and the eradication of love from the world. Her kingdom was governed by one cardinal rule: love was forbidden. Anyone found violating this rule would be deemed guilty of a grave sin and duly punished. Among the children under her rule, two stood out: Eric and Sarah. They shared a deep bond, which only strengthened over time. As the years passed, they, along with the other children, became highly skilled in battle. Parallelly, their love for each other grew more profound. During an intimate moment, Sarah gifted Eric her mother's wedding necklace, symbolizing their commitment to each other. In love and desperate for freedom, they plotted to escape from Freya's kingdom. However, their plan was foiled when Freya learned of their intentions. She proposed a challenge, declaring that they could only leave if they managed to defeat her forces. Caught off guard, Eric and Sarah, being the best huntsmen of their generation, defended themselves and managed to overpower Freya's forces. Just as they were about to make their escape, Freya unleashed her magic, conjuring a massive ice wall that separated the two. In a tragic turn of events, she ended Sarah's life. Devastated and weakened by grief, Eric became an easy target. The remaining soldiers overwhelmed him, defeated him, and cast him into the sea. Fast forward 7 years, and we arrive at the untold events during Snow White's story. In this period, the huntsman, Eric, saves Snow White, reviving her with a true love's kiss. In the climactic finale, Queen Ravenna meets her end. However, Snow White is left in possession of Ravenna's enchanted mirror, an artifact steeped in dark magic. The mirror's sinister influence gradually pushes Snow White towards insanity, the dark magic whispering to her, its magnetic pull constantly drawing her in. Unable to withstand the powerful spell, Snow White orders her troops to hide the mirror in the enchanted forest, where she once sought refuge from Queen Ravenna. As her soldiers transport the mirror, the protective veil slips away, and the mirror begins to afflict those around it with its haunting presence. Frightened, the soldiers abandon the mirror in the heart of the forest, where it mysteriously disappears. The power of the mirror, an embodiment of Ravenna's black magic, was such that an ordinary person couldn't withstand its influence. The mirror had the ability to drive a person to madness, as was the case with Snow White. Amid these events, we are reintroduced to William, Snow White's husband. Aware of the potential danger the mirror poses, he embarks on a mission to find it and recruits Eric for the task. As their conversation unfolds, it's overheard by a bird, a spy of Freya's. learning about the mirror's extraordinary power and its potential to aid her quest for global domination, Freya resolves to possess it. Eric, recognizing the bird as a messenger of Freya, understands the gravity of the situation. He readily takes up the mission to recover the mirror. Accompanied by two dwarves, he ventures into the forest where the soldiers were last seen. They discover evidence of the mirror's potency. The soldiers, driven to madness, had turned against and killed each other. But the mirror was not there. All three of them stop at one place, where some of Freya's people attack him. Because 3 to 4 people suddenly attack, Eric also starts to get weak. But a mysterious man comes there and kills all 3 of them. Actually, that man was no one else but Sarah. Yes, she was not dead. She was alive. She was very angry at Eric that he had left her. And then we find out that actually Freya used her magic to show a different vision to both of them. Eric had a vision that Sarah was dead, and Sarah had a vision that Eric had run away. But they were both alive. She tells Eric that she was held captive by Freya for the last 7 years, and she escaped to take revenge on him. But Eric tells her that it was all Freya's magic, and he never left her. Sarah agrees, but she is still angry at him. Meanwhile, Eric learns that the mirror is in the forest of another goblin. So they all go there, but on the way, they fall into a trap set by Dorian and Brienne. They let them go after learning their purpose, and they join them to find the mirror. They reach the goblin forest, which is very dangerous. They see a mirror with no cloth on it, meaning anyone could be affected by its power. Some dead goblins are lying around the mirror, having killed each other because of it. Eric tries to take the mirror, but a goblin attacks them. Sarah and Eric fight him, while the others take the mirror and run away from the goblins. During the fight, Sarah sees that Eric still wears the necklace she gave him, and she realizes that he truly loves her. But then the goblin stabs Eric from behind, and more goblins come to fight them. Sarah kills many goblins and sets their camp on fire, making them flee. She cries, thinking that Eric is dead, but he is alive thanks to the necklace. He finally admits that he loves her, and they reunite at night. But their happiness is short-lived because Freya attacks them in the forest the next day. It turns out that Sarah was working for her all along. She met Freya when she had the vision that Eric left her, and she became her huntsman. Freya sent Sarah to kill Eric when he went after the mirror, and that's what Sarah was doing. Now that she had the mirror, Freya came to take it. She told Sarah to shoot Eric, and Sarah did it without hesitation. He died there, and Freya took the mirror away. Eric's friends were very sad to see him dead, and they pulled out the arrow. But as soon as they did, he woke up. He wasn't really dead. Sarah had shot him on purpose at a spot where the arrow hit the necklace around his neck. He was just unconscious. Eric realized that Sarah never missed her target. She had shot him on the necklace to save him. Meanwhile, in Freya's palace, she summoned the mirror. And as we saw in the last part, the mirror always appeared. But this time, Queen Ravenna came out of it. She had been killed by Snow White in the last part, but then she became one with the mirror. And by summoning it, she was resurrected again. Ravenna claimed to be the queen and the kingdom as hers. She ordered her sister Freya to attack Snow White and her kingdom the next day. Freya agreed at first, and on the other side, Eric and his friends reached Freya's kingdom, and they were going to attack the next day. The next day came, and Freya prepared all her children, whom she had trained since childhood, against Snow White. But then Eric showed up and tried to kill her with an arrow, but Ravenna saved her. Eric was shocked to see Ravenna because he remembered that she was killed by Snow White. Freya captured Eric, but Sarah took this chance to kill Freya, but she failed. Freya was surprised that Sarah still loved Eric, and she didn't kill him in the forest that day. But Ravenna told her that these people were going to betray her, and she started killing them one by one. Freya tried to stop her because these were her children. She had raised them since childhood and kept them in her castle. She couldn't bear to see them die, and Ravenna wouldn't stop. So she built a huge wall of ice between them. Ravenna was angry at her and said that she was still weak. She had tried to make her strong years ago. The power she had today was because of her. Now, Freya was angry and demanded the truth from her. And then Ravenna told her that when Freya was pregnant, Ravenna asked the mirror who was the fairest of them all. The mirror said that it was her for now. But as soon as Freya's daughter was born, she would be the fairest. That's why Ravenna put a spell on Andrew and killed his daughter, so that she would remain the fairest in the world. When Freya heard this, she was furious and tried to kill her sister. But she failed, because Ravenna was much stronger. She killed Freya, but Freya used her magic to freeze the whole mirror. Meanwhile, Eric, Sarah, and the rest of the army who were on their side went to kill Ravenna. Sarah fought with her, but Ravenna was too powerful. But then Eric realized that all her power came from the mirror, and he shattered it. This caused Ravenna to break into pieces of glass as well. And Freya died too. And because of Freya's death, all the people she had enslaved and frozen with her magic were freed from her curse. And everyone was free. And Sarah and Eric lived happily ever after. In the post-credit scene, a mysterious golden bird approached Snow White. Actually, this golden bird was none other than the mirror or Ravenna. And the movie ended there. I hope you liked this movie. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.